In the ever-evolving world of athletics, few names have risen as swiftly and as forcefully as Caitlin Clark. For those unfamiliar with the complexities of women's basketball, it could be easy to ignore the revolutionary influence she's had on the game. But for those who have seen her perform, there's no disputing that Caitlin Clark is more than simply a rising star. She's a phenomenon. To those who argue the contrary, the issue remains, if not Caitlin Clark, then who would you want to launch your brand with?
Seattle Storm, here's Clark. Clark looking to take it around Lloyd. Clark bodies in and finishes.
That's one of the things that Caitlin Clark has done really well throughout the course of those last 10 games, is going to her right side, being physical and finishing even with contact.
Clark, what a pass, hit stride, and hold.
The dispute between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese has become a heated subject in basketball circles. Angel Reese is clearly a skilled player, a force to be reckoned with on the court. However, when put opposite Caitlin Clark, the comparison becomes problematic. Clark's effect on the game goes well beyond her stats. Her leadership, court vision, and ability to execute under pressure distinguished her from her colleagues.
Well executed play by the favorite.
Clark the steal, Mitchell the knockaway, Clark's three, it's good.
Angel Reese has had a terrible few days, with setbacks that have left her in a precarious situation. Despite a strong statistical performance in a recent blowout defeat to the Phoenix Mercury, Reese is suffering the price for comparing her brand too closely to Caitlin Clark's. While Reese's brilliance is apparent, her choice to compare herself to Clark could have cost her dearly. Angel Reese has had a difficult time recently, with rejection coming from unexpected places. First, coach Cheryl Reeve made it apparent that Reese needed to be added to her radar. Despite Reese's obvious potential, Reeve chose to pass on her during the draft, a decision that has sparked heated debate. Reeve's decision to reject Reese was motivated by more than simply skill. It was also about fit, team relationships, and maybe personal prejudices.
I think so many people are watching women's basketball right now. It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that, because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like, just because of one single game.
The second rejection came from Caitlin Clark herself. Clark, who has been on a roll lately, appeared to distance herself from the comparison to Reese, instead focusing on her own game. Clark's recent performances have been nothing short of spectacular, dominating teams like the Seattle Storm and developing players like Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hall. Angel Reese's on-court struggles have become more apparent as she continues to deal with comparisons to Caitlin Clark. Despite being a great rebounder and energy player, Reese has struggled to live up to the expectations set by her relationship with Clark. In her last few games, Reese has struggled with her shooting only 29% from the field, which does not reflect her talent.
And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that. Like, it's not just because of one person. A lot of us have done so much for this game, and Kennedy has been here before, obviously, but there are so many great players in this league that have deserved this for a really, really long time, and luckily, it's coming now.
Reese's attachment to Caitlin Clark's brand has overshadowed her accomplishments. If she hadn't been compared to Clark, Reese might have been praised for her defensive abilities and energy on the court. However, as things stand, the comparisons have only served to highlight the difference between the two players. In an unexpected twist, Angel Reese's attempt to sign French Olympic star Gabby Williams to her team has also failed. Gabby Williams, noted for her defensive skills, just signed with the Seattle Storm, leaving Reese scrambling. Williams, who had been practicing with the French national team, decided to return to the WNBA and join the Storm, who had acquired her in a trade with the LA Sparks in 2022.
Yeah, America is not the entire world. I know there's some people in a certain place that need to hear that, but yes, America's not the whole world. I'm coming even later this time, which I didn't think was possible. I'm gonna keep pushing it, but no, I'm not.
Williams is no stranger to success, having been a starter in every game during a previous season, averaging 7.5 points and 5 rebounds. Her all-around skills earned her a spot on the all-defensive second team, helping the Storm make it to the WNBA semifinals. Her decision to join the Storm over teaming up with Reese is another blow to the Chicago Sky rookie. The debate over who deserves the Rookie of the Year title has been ongoing, with Caitlin Clark's name often at the forefront. However, Angel Reese has also been part of this conversation, albeit with less conviction. While Reese's energy and rebounding skills are commendable, her offensive struggles have made it difficult for her to be seen as a true contender for the title.
I think just reflecting back over my 4 years is just, I'm very grateful starting and playing in front of absolutely no one during COVID. And then obviously my sophomore year, we had good crowds. The curtains were down a lot of the games, and now it's impossible to get a ticket to get in the door to our games. So, yeah. I think the people that have made it the most special, obviously my teammates, my coaches, but it isn't what it is without all of you. So seriously, I mean that, and I thank you. And this is special. I don't know if you guys realize what you're doing for women's basketball and women's sports in general, but you're changing it. You're helping us change it. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, from all of us, we thank you so much.
Reese's awkward left-handed shot, which she shoots from her shoulder rather than at eye level, has been a point of criticism. Despite her efforts to improve her mid-range game, Reese has yet to develop into the dynamic offensive player she aspires to be. The comparisons to Caitlin Clark have only heightened the pressure on Reese, making it even harder for her to find her footing in the WNBA. While Angel Reese struggles to find her rhythm, Caitlin Clark continues to dominate the court. Clark's recent performances have been nothing short of amazing, demonstrating her range and brilliance. Whether it's schooling the Seattle Storm or taking down the Phoenix Mercury, Clark has shown again and again why she's regarded as one of the finest in the game.
Yeah, she did wear the villain role on her sleeve, no doubt about that. She didn't do a lot to help herself when she was winning the NCAA championship last year against Iowa, and she was taunting Caitlin Clark.
Clark's effect extends beyond only her scoring ability. Her court vision, passing, and leadership make her a complete player, one who can alter the course of a game single-handedly. As the Rookie of the Year argument rages on, Clark's regular performances make it more tough to argue against her candidacy. Cheryl Reeve, head coach of the Minnesota Lynx and Team USA, has been the subject of criticism regarding her judgments concerning Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Reeve's choice to pass on Reese during the selection aroused questions, particularly given the disappointing performance of the player she did take. Reeve's argument for rejecting Reese appears to derive from a conviction that Reese wouldn't mix well with the team's approach.
Yeah, you know, obviously broken news. I've got to look at the roster to see who they picked to be on the team, but I would imagine they leaned on veterans. And while Caitlin has had an incredible season, I don't know if there's going to be a rookie on this roster. So if we look here,
Reeve's decisions haven't been limited to the WNBA draft. As the head coach of Team USA, Reeve also played a role in selecting the Olympic roster. Caitlin Clark, despite her impressive performances, was left off the roster, a decision that has sparked much debate. Some have hypothesized that Reeve's selections may be impacted by personal prejudices, especially considering her participation with the LGBTQ+ community. As Caitlin Clark continues to make waves in the WNBA, curiosity surrounding her future only grows. One of the most hotly debated topics is Clark's potential involvement in the Unrivaled League, a new league founded by Brianna Stewart and Nafiza Collier. The Unrivaled League, based on 3v3 basketball, allows players to play during the WNBA's summer and earn six-figure wages.
And again, we cannot understate the timing of this with the media rights deal being up next year, how she has completely driven eyeballs to the women's game this year, not only for Iowa games, but we've seen it across the women's college landscape. She is vitally important.
Clark's potential involvement in the Unrivaled League has sparked much debate. While the league provides exciting opportunities, it is still being determined whether they align with Clark's preferences. Critics have questioned the Unrivaled League's motivations, particularly given its owner's previous lack of support for specific players. The Unrivaled League marks a new era in women's basketball with a one-of-a-kind model that has the potential to transform the sport. However, it is not without controversy. The league's framework, which revolves around 3v3 basketball, may appeal to only some players, notably Caitlin Clark, who excels in conventional 5v5 games. The league's timing, which coincided with the expiry of television rights agreements, has sparked speculation regarding its purpose. Some have speculated that the league's owners may be looking to capitalize on the increased visibility of women's basketball, driven in part by players like Caitlin Clark. However, there are concerns that the league's focus on branding and financial incentives might detract from the sport's integrity.
And efficiency when it comes to scoring. So that's my quick take on it, but I've got to dive deep into it.
Yeah, we know that Caitlin Clark is a great player and she will probably be great in the WNBA, but just like you said, you know the veterans, you know what you're going to get on that team.
Caitlin Clark's effect on women's basketball cannot be emphasized. Her accomplishments have not only boosted her career, but have also drawn more attention to the sport as a whole. Clark's ability to attract in spectators and inspire passion around women's basketball has made her a significant role in the game's development. As the WNBA and other leagues grow, women like Caitlin Clark will play an important part in determining the sport's future. Whether she decides to continue in the WNBA, join the Unrivaled League, or seek other possibilities, Clark's impact will be felt for years to come. While Caitlin Clark's career continues to grow, Angel Reese's path has been plagued by hardships and failures. Despite these hurdles, Reese has shown tremendous perseverance. Her ability to bounce back from rejection and criticism speaks to her strength as a player and a person.
We roll in the Olympics every year. We can afford having, someone who's the 20th best or 24th best instead of the 12th best, because of what it would potentially do to grow the game.
Reese's decision to focus on her mid-range game and face-up shots demonstrates her desire to improve. While she may not be on the same level as Caitlin Clark, Reese's potential is undeniable. Reese has the potential to make a name for herself in the WNBA as her skills improve. Coaches like Cheryl Reeve help shape the careers of players like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Reeve's decisions, both in the WNBA and at the Olympics, have had a significant impact on these players' careers. Her choices, whether motivated by team dynamics, personal biases, or other factors, have sparked intense debate in the basketball community. Coaches' influence extends beyond game strategy. They play an important role in the development of players' abilities, mental toughness, and overall career paths. The decisions made by coaches like Reeve can either propel players to new heights or prevent them from reaching their full potential.
She is on pace to become only the 5th player in history in the WNBA. History, not rookie, player, to have a 15-5-5 season.
The media has played a significant role in shaping the stories surrounding Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Media coverage has amplified the comparisons between the two players, often to Reese's detriment. The media's emphasis on Clark's accomplishments and Reese's struggles has created a dynamic in which Reese is perceived as falling short, even when she performs admirably. The media's role in promoting women's basketball is crucial. Positive coverage can help elevate the sport and its players, attracting new fans and increasing visibility. However, the media also has the power to create narratives that may not fully reflect the complexities of players' careers. The media needs to balance its coverage, recognizing the achievements of all players, not just those who are seen as the next big thing.
I think, though, while you can't say she was snubbed, it was a mistake to leave her off. Because to grow the game of women's pro basketball here in America.
The future of women's basketball is bright, thanks in large part to players like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. As the sport continues to grow, it's important to recognize the contributions of all players, regardless of their current standing. While Caitlin Clark may be the face of the sport right now, players like Angel Reese also have a vital role to play in its future. The continued development of leagues like the WNBA and the introduction of new leagues like the Unrivaled League will provide more opportunities for players to showcase their talents. As these leagues evolve, the focus should remain on the players and the sport itself, ensuring that women's basketball continues to thrive.
And I just feel really grateful to be here, and I put on an Iowa jersey for 4 years, but like Coach Bluder and Kate said, there's still so much more fun to have, and we're not done.
There is.
In the big scheme of things, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are both vital to the story of women's basketball. While their routes may be different, everyone can leave a lasting impact on the sport. Caitlin Clark's domination on the court has already confirmed her as one of the game's greats, while Angel Reese's resilience and drive signal that her finest days are yet ahead. As we look to the future, it's vital to remember that basketball is a team sport and no individual can achieve success alone. Both Clark and Reese have benefited from the support of their teammates, coaches, and fans. As their careers continue to unfold, we can only hope that they continue to inspire the next generation of women's basketball players, proving that there's room at the top for more than just a one star. Lynn Dunn, the famous general manager of the Indiana Fever, has had enough. She is a seasoned veteran of the game who has seen both the highs and lows of professional basketball. But what she's seeing today has pushed her to the edge, leading her to speak out with genuine conviction. What triggered the event? None other than the unrelenting and some say deadly roughness that Caitlin Clark has faced on the court. This isn't just another day in the WNBA. It's a crisis in the making, and Dunn is prepared to act.
Amazing. It's amazing. I cannot believe that many people are here just for the draft party. It's such an exciting moment. We're thrilled to select with the first pick, Caitlin Clark.
But what's really going on here? Is this simply another chapter in the WNBA's illustrious history? Or is something more important emerging before our eyes? Let's go into the facts, unpack the difficulties, and find out why Lynn Dunn, one of the most respected personalities in women's basketball, is suddenly demanding quick action. Lynn Dunn's interest extends beyond basketball to the fundamental fabric of the game. Dunn's perspective is unique as the Indiana Fever's general manager. She's seen the league's evolution throughout the years, including the growth of players, the intensity of rivalries, and the rising fan base. But what she sees today is different, and it troubles her terribly.
You're changing it, you're helping us change it, so seriously, from the bottom of my heart, from all of us, we thank you so much, and I just feel really grateful to be here.
Dunn is especially concerned with Caitlin Clark's supporters' conduct and the more violent techniques employed against her on the court. It's one thing to play rough. Basketball, after all, is a contact sport. But when does toughness become dangerous? That is the question Dunn is asking, and it has sparked a passionate discussion within the WNBA community. Caitlin Clark, with her evident skill and compelling charisma, has emerged as the league's lightning rod. Her supporters are fervent, her opponents are tenacious, and the result is a level of ferocity that is making headlines throughout the sport. Dunn is frustrated not just with the physical play, but also with how the game is developing, or maybe devolving, in reaction to the demands that come with Clark's ascension. Caitlin Clark's influence in the WNBA cannot be emphasized enough. She's more than simply another player. She's a sensation. Clark is creating waves on the floor, turning heads, and pushing opponents to reconsider their strategy. He averages 16.3 points, 6 assists, and 4.9 rebounds per game. But what's occurring off the field is absolutely astounding. Clark's presence has directly contributed to an increase in WNBA attendance and fan engagement. In Los Angeles, 19,033 people have come to witness her performance. In Washington, the attendance was even higher. 20,333 people packed the arena to see Caitlin Clark perform. These metrics are more than just numbers. They reflect the WNBA's burgeoning popularity, which is propelled in large part by Clark's spectacular performances.
I'm very grateful starting and playing in front of absolutely no one during COVID, and then obviously my sophomore year we had good crowds, the curtains were down a lot of the games, and now...
However, all of this prosperity has brought along a new set of obstacles. As Clark continues to dominate, she becomes a target. The brutality aimed against her is rising, and it's more than simply difficult defense. It's about survival. Opponents are pushing the envelope, testing the limits, and in some instances, crossing the line. That's where the real issue is. The WNBA has always distinguished itself by its physicality. However, there is a distinction between playing hard and dirty, and that line is getting more blurred. Caitlin Clark is at the heart of this argument, since she encounters physical obstacles on the court that some feel exceed what is appropriate in competitive play.
Seattle, and all of a sudden, we're pretty close. This has been as close as it's been all second quarter long, 44.
Remember when Clark was hip-checked by Kennedy Carter, or when she clashed with Angel Reese? These aren't isolated events. They're part of a wider trend that's forming throughout the league. Clark has spoken out about the treatment she is undergoing, stating, "I feel like I'm getting hammered." For a player of her level to raise such worries is significant. It indicates that something has to change. The roughness thrown toward Clark is more than simply strong defense. It's about delivering a message. But what's the message? Is Clark too good, oppressive, or threatening? Or is it something more sinister, referring to larger flaws inside the league? These are the questions posed by fans, players, coaches, and experts alike.
Caitlin Clark
As the physicality goes up, so too does the discussion. Where do we distinguish between competitive play and harmful behavior? What constitutes appropriate on-court behavior, and when does it become excessive? These are the problems that are now front of mind in the WNBA, and Lynn Dunn is determined to solve them. Caitlin Clark's handling of the court has elicited different reactions. On one side, some supporters are upset, believing that Clark is being unjustly targeted and that the brutality she is experiencing is not simply part of the game, but a purposeful effort to bring her down. These supporters are loud, passionate, and demanding change.
An accidental collision with Caitlin Clark. You see it right there. Personnel crowds around her. She ended up being okay. She said she was fine. She just got the wind knocked out of her a little bit.
On the other hand, others contend that this is just basketball. It's a rigorous sport, and if you want to be the greatest, you must be able to manage the physical demands. For some followers, Clark's situation is merely part of the game, a necessary hurdle that she must face if she wants to compete at the greatest level. But it's not only the fans who are split. The league itself is debating how to react. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert recognized the problem, saying, "I believe everyone is watching Caitlin, so their emphasis is solely on Caitlin. But when compared to other games with additional players, it is a physical game." Engelbert's remarks underline the bigger context. The WNBA is a rough league, and Caitlin Clark isn't the only one dealing with these issues.
Yeah, I mean, her first month in W, obviously, aside from the numbers, the viewership, the attendance, the way that she plays the game, you know, she's ultra competitive. Her ability to really stretch the floor and find her teammates. Obviously, there is a learning curve. And
however, Engelbert's words pose serious considerations. Is Clark's physicality merely a facet of the game, or is there more to it? Is the league doing enough to safeguard its players, particularly its superstars? What message is being sent to the next generation of players and fans? These are the concerns that are rising to the forefront as the discussion around Caitlin Clark and the physicality of the WNBA heats up. So what precisely does Lynn Dunn propose? Dunn's strong words make it plain that she is unwilling to sit back and watch while the game she loves is imperiled. She is asking for quick action, urging the league to intervene and address the problem of physicality before it is too late.
About 20 seconds, maybe 15.
Why that long?
I don't know. They made me pause. You know the league. You gotta follow the directions.
Dunn isn't just speaking out, she's taking action. She allegedly submitted game videos to the league headquarters, underlining the risky play that she feels is endangering players like Caitlin Clark. Dunn's commitment is palpable. She's not just talking the talk, she's living the walk, leading by example for everyone participating in the game. But what fueled Lynn Dunn's ardent determination? Why is she so adamant about cleaning up the game, safeguarding the athletes, and maintaining the WNBA's integrity? The answer is rooted in her profound passion for the game, dedication to the league, and conviction that basketball can and should be better. Dunn's call to action applies to the whole league, not just one player or club. She's making a strong message about the significance of safeguarding star players, establishing a high standard for the whole WNBA, and keeping the game fair and safe for everyone on the field.
One of our biggest wins of the season so far was our first win at Phoenix. I think that really kind of boosted us into how we're playing basketball right now.
As the WNBA expands and evolves, physicality will remain a major concern. The league is at a crossroads, and the choices made over the next several months and years will significantly influence its future. If the league can find a way to combine toughness and safety, protecting its players while maintaining the game's purity, it has the potential to reach new heights. The WNBA has the potential to serve as a model for other sports leagues, demonstrating that it is feasible to play intense competitive basketball without jeopardizing player safety.
Left to go. How important was it for this group to come out after the break and get the win?
Yeah, it's huge. I think it sets the tone of where we want to be the rest of the season. So to grind this one out and get it done, I think is just a step in the right direction. But it's one at a time, and we have another big one Sunday.
However, if the league fails to handle the problem, the ramifications might be severe. Players might continue to get injured, the game's quality could deteriorate, and spectators could lose faith. The WNBA risks losing its momentum and its status as one of the most entertaining and dynamic sports leagues in the world. The WNBA's future is in the balance, and choices taken now will define the league for years to come. It is a watershed moment in the league's history, and players, fans, and the media will all be paying careful attention. To summarize, Lynn Dunn's call to action is about more than simply Caitlin Clark. It is about the future of the WNBA. The league is at a watershed moment as it deals with the problem of physicality and its influence on the game.
Yeah, I think just when I can get going early, that's when I really settle into the game and feel comfortable. And I think my third quarter wasn't great, but yeah, I think there's times where we would have crumbled, but we just kept battling and fighting, and I thought it was a really good win for us.
Dunn's drive to safeguard the players, maintain the league's integrity, and guarantee that the WNBA stays fair and safe reflects her passion for the sport. She is not just speaking out, she is also acting, setting an example for everyone participating in the game. The fight about Caitlin Clark and the WNBA has not ended, and it will continue to define the league's future. However, one thing is certain, the WNBA is a league worth fighting for, and it can achieve unprecedented heights.
Outside these 12, but know that Caitlin is going to have a bright future with USA Basketball, and I think, the points that she made, she's even more motivated, more hungry, and just knowing that her time is going to come.
As fans, players, and the media continue to weigh in on this topic, the WNBA's future will be molded by the choices made today. It is a watershed event in the league's history, with long-term implications for the game. So where are we going from here? The solution is up to the league, the players, and the fans. It is up to all of us to keep the WNBA a league we can be proud of, one that is tough, competitive, and fair. And with leaders like Lynn Dunn at the forefront, there's little question the WNBA is in capable hands. Simone Biles is generally regarded as one of the best gymnasts of all time, a moniker that reflects her unparalleled ability, devotion, and determination. However, her impact extends beyond gymnastics. Biles has emerged as a strong champion for justice, equality, and mental health awareness, continuously speaking out against discrimination, prejudice, and injustice. Her fearlessness in confronting injustice and protecting herself and her loved ones has made her a role model not only for athletes, but for anybody facing hardship.
She'll do the same vault that we just saw Jade Carey do. It's called a Cheng.
Simone Biles has faced prejudice throughout her life, both inside and outside of the gym. Despite her remarkable successes, Biles has received harsh words and acts motivated by discrimination, demonstrating that even the most accomplished black athletes are not immune to racism. However, Biles has repeatedly shown that she will not accept such conduct. Her answers to these instances are more than simply self-defense. They are about establishing an example for others, speaking up against injustice, and addressing institutional racism in sports and society.
We told you has 20 medals from the World Championships. With one today, she would be alone at the top, but a four-time world champ on floor, two-time world champ on beat, a world champ last year.
Welcome to another episode of Black African Diary, a channel dedicated to the tales, experiences, and perseverance of Black Africa and its diaspora. In today's episode, we look at some of Simone Biles' most memorable instances when she stood up to disrespect and bigotry, demonstrating that her strength goes well beyond her athletic ability. Let's dig in. One of the most high-profile disagreements involving Simone Biles occurred at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Tensions between Biles and her Olympic colleague Michaela Skinner surfaced, turning what looked to be an internal problem within the U.S. gymnastics team into a public spectacle. Although the two gymnasts had previously performed together in the Tokyo Olympics in 2021, Skinner's remarks damaged their friendship, which some saw as a covert swipe at Biles and the team.
Obviously, a lot of girls don't work as hard. The girls just don't have the work ethic.
In a now deleted YouTube video, Skinner said that the current American gymnastics team needed more quality and depth than prior generations. She particularly referenced Biles in her remarks, but hinted that other gymnasts did not meet the same criteria. Aside from Simone, the skill and depth aren't what they once were. The girls simply lack a work ethic, Skinner said. This flippant statement enraged fans and other athletes, with many seeing it as undercutting the team's hard work and devotion. Simone Biles, who has always handled herself with dignity and elegance, might have easily shown rage or bitterness. Instead, she chose the higher path. After the United States team won the gold medal at the Paris Olympics, Biles posted a congratulatory message on Instagram that implicitly challenged Skinner's remarks. Lack of talent, lazy Olympic champions. The post was a great reaction that flipped Skinner's critique on its head, demonstrating that, despite the skeptics, the U.S. squad had shown its value on a global scale.
It is crazy that I am in the conversation of greatest of all athletes, because I just still think I'm Simone Biles from Spring, Texas that loves flip.
Biles' answer was more than simply a personal win. It was a reminder that athletes, especially black women, often suffer harsh scrutiny and criticism that their white colleagues do not. Biles displayed her perseverance in the face of hardship, as well as her devotion to elevating her colleagues by handling the situation with elegance and dignity. Skinner's efforts to retract her statements did nothing to calm the problem, but Biles stayed focused on celebrating her team's achievements rather than participating in a public dispute. This incident demonstrated Biles' capacity to rise above criticism and concentrate on what is actually important, the performance and well-being of her team.
To Simone, I am asking you directly and publicly to please put a stop to this.
In 2023, a highly disturbing occurrence occurred during a gymnastics tournament in Dublin, Ireland, when a young black gymnast was purposefully overlooked at a medal ceremony. The event was captured on video and rapidly went viral, causing anger across the globe. The video showed a bunch of young gymnasts collecting medals, but when it came time to give the black gymnast, the official overlooked her, leaving her without a medal. The event served as a sharp reminder of the bigotry that persists in sports, including at the grassroots level. Simone Biles, who has battled bigotry in her career, was greatly touched by the episode. She resorted to social media to voice her sadness and anger, pointing out the obvious unfairness and demanding responsibility from the event's organizers. "It broke my heart to see this," Biles posted on Twitter. "It reminded me of all the times I was judged differently because of the color of my skin." Biles' public comments drew attention to the problem and placed pressure on the tournament organizers to rectify it. But Biles did more than simply speak out. She went a step further and personally contacted the little gymnast, giving her a loving video message of support. In the video, Biles informed the little girl that she was proud of her and that the gymnastics community supported her. Biles' message was more than simply soothing the young gymnast. It was about showing her that she was not alone and that the acts of a biased referee did not determine her value.
It's Simone Biles. I wanted to let you know that I saw how you were treated at your Gym Star event recently. I was completely shocked and wanted to let you know that you deserve a medal just like all of the other girls.
This event served as a poignant reminder of the significance of representation in athletics. For young black athletes, witnessing someone like Simone Biles excel at the top levels of competition may be very motivating. However, Biles' actions emphasize the need for structural reform within sports organizations to guarantee that all athletes are treated fairly and respectfully, regardless of race. By utilizing her position to speak out against prejudice, Biles proved that her impact reaches well beyond the gymnasium. Simone Biles is no stranger to public scrutiny, but in August 2023, attention moved to her husband, NFL quarterback Jonathan Owens. Owens became the subject of a social media firestorm when statements he made during an interview on the Pivot podcast were taken out of context. In the interview, Owens told the tale of how he met Biles on a celebrity dating app, joking that he didn't recognize her because of her enormous following. "I thought her profile might be fake." Owens laughed, saying that he had no idea she was a world-famous gymnast until later.
Because if she wouldn't have messaged me, chances are, like, I probably wouldn't have. I probably was just, mine would have went somewhere else.
We matched, but I was the first to message.
While Owens' remarks were meant to be playful, some social media users distorted them, accusing him of insulting Biles and doubting his dedication to their relationship. The criticism was quick, with some claiming that Owens did not recognize Biles' achievements or take their relationship properly. Biles, on the other hand, was eager to dismiss the negative comments. She turned to social media to defend her husband, stating that she was there throughout the interview and saw nothing wrong with what he said. In fact, she thought the narrative was amusing and heartwarming. What disturbed her the most was not Owens' statements, but the severe criticism he got from strangers who were unaware of the entire scope of their connection. Biles highlighted that Owens had always treated her with the highest respect and love, and she was not going to allow false allegations and hatred to damage their relationship.
I broke down. That really hurt that they were talking about my husband like that. Because for me, it's like, talk about me all you want, but don't come for my family. Never.
By defending her spouse, Biles proved her everlasting devotion and dedication to safeguarding her loved ones from unjustified insults. This episode also demonstrated the frequently poisonous nature of social media, where people rush to judge and condemn without fully comprehending the situation. Biles' remark was a reminder that relationships are nuanced and personal, and that outsiders should exercise caution before leaping to conclusions. Her ability to rise above the criticism and concentrate on what is actually important, her connection with Owens, was yet another demonstration of her strength and perseverance. Despite her remarkable achievements as the most decorated gymnast in history, Simone Biles has often faced superficial criticism, particularly for her hair. For years, Biles has received negative comments on social media regarding her hair texture, style, and look. These remarks stem from racist beauty standards that devalue natural black hair and put excessive pressure on black women to adhere to Eurocentric beauty norms.
She just won the Olympics and you guys are talking about her hair? I don't understand. I don't understand.
Biles was appointed an honorary Houston Texans cheerleader in 2023, a major award that honored her achievements in the Houston community and her position as a mentor to future athletes. However, rather than applauding her accomplishment, several social media users focused on her hair, making disparaging remarks about its look. One reviewer even said, "Baby, your hair. You need some black friends," meaning that Biles was not taking sufficient care of her hair. Biles quickly responded to the criticism with her trademark elegance and composure. She moved to Twitter, now X, to confront the remarks head-on, offering a simple but powerful question. "I have one question to everyone remarking on my hair. When I honestly appear pleased in the picture, do you always look perfect? Is everything in perfect order?" Biles' reaction was a rejection of the unattainable and harsh beauty standards that are often imposed on women, especially black women.
I just want to do something special. Tokyo was the one time I did not braid Simone's hair. She is an adult. I mean, this girl can braid her hair, but it's not about her braiding her hair.
Her statement struck a chord with many, creating a larger discussion on how society assesses women primarily on their attractiveness rather than their accomplishments. Biles' unwillingness to allow these superficial criticisms to undermine her self-esteem was a tremendous message of self-acceptance and confidence. She made it plain that she was focused on her happiness, her achievements, rather than fitting other people's attractiveness standards. Biles' willingness to speak out against this sort of abuse highlights the confluence of racism and sexism that many black women confront. For far too long, black women's hair has been the subject of public discussion and inspection, with detrimental preconceptions and biases influencing what is deemed acceptable or professional. By facing these concerns squarely, Biles is contributing to a more open and tolerant society in which women of all backgrounds may enjoy their natural beauty without fear of being judged. Simone Biles has repeatedly shown that she is more than simply a world-class athlete. She is a strong champion for justice, equality, and self-worth. Whether she is speaking out against racism, protecting her loved ones, or confronting detrimental beauty standards, Biles is using her position to make a difference. Her capacity to overcome negativity and misfortune demonstrates her strength, perseverance, and grace. As we celebrate her accomplishments on and off the court, we are reminded that Biles is an example not just for athletes, but for anybody who has ever suffered adversity or prejudice. Simone Biles' struggle against prejudice is more than just a personal one. It's a battle that many athletes of color endure every day. Her tenacity and commitment to addressing this problem inspire younger athletes of color, and her advocacy serves as a reminder that the struggle for equality is far from done. Biles has shown a willingness to speak up and demand change, not just for herself, but also for the next generation of athletes who will follow in her footsteps. In recent years, the world of sports has seen a stunning surge in the importance of women's athletics, a phenomenon that has not only reshaped the playing field, but also challenged long-held beliefs. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are two amazing athletes who are leading the charge. While their paths have been different, their influence on the sports world has been nothing short of revolutionary. On the one hand, Caitlin Clark's recent accomplishments have established new standards, captivated audiences, and inspired young athletes throughout the world. Angel Reese's climb to celebrity, on the other hand, has been welcomed with both affection and condemnation, especially when Dan Patric publicly rejected her. These incidents provoked extensive discussion, shedding light on larger themes such as gender, media coverage, and the changing face of women's sports.
So it's no fun, but I know me and Kayla will go at it if anything. Just out of competition, though. She wants to win, I want to win, and we're both just two great players that want to compete.
Angel Reese, noted for her basketball skills, has swiftly become a household figure in the world of women's sports. Reese, who was born and reared in Baltimore, Maryland, has achieved great success through dedication and perseverance. Her early career saw her excel in high school basketball, where she won multiple awards and established records. Reese's adjustment to collegiate basketball was simple, and she immediately established herself as a major player for the University of Maryland's women's basketball team. Her NCAA achievements have been nothing short of outstanding, and her ability to score, rebound, and defend makes her one of the league's most versatile players. However, Reese's journey to celebrity has been subject to controversy. Her bold and outspoken personality has made her a divisive figure in the sporting world. Some like her outspoken attitude, while others criticize her for what they see as arrogance. Regardless of the conflicting comments, there is little doubt that Reese has had a huge influence on women's basketball. Her ability to attract attention, both on and off the court, has raised the sport's popularity and sparked debate regarding the public image of female athletes.
Reese the old board, Reese the putback.
Offensive board leads the WNBA in that category. Well done.
Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, has stunned the basketball world with her exceptional skill and competitive passion. Clark, who grew up in West Des Moines, Iowa, started playing basketball at an early age. Her enthusiasm for the game was obvious from the outset, and she soon rose to the ranks of high school standouts, smashing records and receiving national acclaim as one of the best prospects. Clark's transition to college basketball was punctuated by a number of standout performances that cemented her position as a budding talent. She has frequently given jaw-dropping performances while playing for the University of Iowa, including many 40-point games and clutch shots that have astounded fans and observers.
Yeah, I think for me, anytime you go up against somebody that's super competitive and, you know, has that same drive and will to win, that's what you love. That's what competitors love. These type of games is what makes our game so great.
Clark's effect on the game extends beyond her remarkable stats. Her playing style, which features a deadly mix of shooting, passing, and court vision, has distinguished her from her colleagues. She has been likened to some of the best players in the sport's history, and her ability to produce under pressure has given her the distinction of being one of the game's most clutch players. As her fame rises, Clark's impact goes beyond the court, motivating a new generation of players and redefining women's basketball expectations.
Minutes. Clark, the flick ahead. Oh, what a dime from Clark and Jones.
Dan Patric, a well-known character in sports journalism, has long been recognized for his honest thoughts and important voice in the profession. His opinion on sporting events and athletes often has a substantial impact, molding public perception and provoking debate among fans and specialists. However, his recent comments regarding Angel Reese have sparked widespread outrage, highlighting the intricacies of media portrayal and the problems that female athletes face.
She didn't speak to the media after the game against Caitlin Clark, but a member of the Chicago Sky, the national title winner.
The event in issue happened during one of Patric's radio appearances when he publicly chastised Angel Reese for what he saw as unsportsmanlike behavior during a major game. Patric's disapproval of Reese extended beyond her on-court activities. He also criticized her confident demeanor and outspoken temperament, implying that she needed to tone down her personality if she wanted to be taken seriously in the sports world. These remarks instantly went viral, sparking a flurry of responses on social media and throughout the sports world.
If she would have left it with what she had to say right before the last couple of words, I would have been fine with it. She's embraced the villain. She understands social media. She's done quite well.
The consequences of Patric's rejection of Reese go beyond her career. It emphasizes the continual fight for female athletes to be recognized and acknowledged on par with their male counterparts. Reese's experience serves as a reminder that despite the progress achieved in women's sports, major hurdles need to be overcome. The event also highlights the role of media coverage in molding public impressions of athletes, especially female athletes, as well as the need for a more egalitarian and inclusive approach to sports criticism.
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark.
While Angel Reese dealt with the consequences of Dan Patric's criticism, Caitlin Clark was creating history on the basketball court. Clark performed a masterclass in scoring, passing, and leadership during a recent game that has been recognized as one of the finest performances in college basketball history. Her effort not only helped her team win a key game, but also established a new bar for what is possible in women's basketball. Clark's game-changing moves extended beyond her performance on the court. Off the court, she has been a vocal champion for gender equality in sports, utilizing her position to highlight the discrepancies between men's and women's athletics. Her stance has resonated with both fans and other athletes, gaining her great affection and respect. Clark's initiatives have also highlighted the need for more investment in women's sports, ranging from improved facilities and resources to expanded media coverage and commercial possibilities.
Holly's fighting through it today. Here's Clark bodying in, head banking it home.
The cultural significance of Clark's recent acts cannot be emphasized. Her success has inspired a new generation of athletes, especially young girls, who regard her as a role model for what they may do. The media coverage of her accomplishments has also led to a change in the narrative around women's basketball, with greater emphasis placed on the ability, talent, and competition of female players. This increased awareness can draw more fans to the sport, resulting in additional chances for women's basketball at all levels. Clark's effect is seen on a global scale. Her triumph has rekindled interest in women's basketball in places where male sports have historically dominated the sport. International fans have taken note of her skills, and there is rising speculation regarding her future in professional basketball, whether in the WNBA or elsewhere. Clark's ascent to fame exemplifies the ability of sports to cross boundaries and bring people together, and her influence on the game will be felt for years.
Hit the three in the corner, Boston the rebound, Clark a good look. She got it.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese's experiences provide a captivating case study on the interaction of gender, media, and sports. The way these two athletes are depicted in the press indicates a lot about the difficulties that female athletes experience in achieving the same degree of notoriety and respect as male competitors. It also emphasizes the importance of media coverage in molding public opinions and larger cultural narratives around sports. Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, has received much acclaim for her confidence and competitive spirit, raising issues about why the same attributes are valued differently in different athletes. Part of the answer might be the way the media develops storylines around certain athletes, which are often based on preconceived assumptions of what a female athlete should look like. These myths are tough to dispel, and they influence how the public perceives athletics.
Listen, I believed in her from day one. We knew that she would only get better and better. She's averaging 17.8 points this season, 41% shooting, 33% from three-point range, leading the league in assists her last 5 games, Shannon.
Social media has also had a significant impact on how the public perceives Clark and Reese. Platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok have allowed athletes direct access to their followers, enabling them to manage their narratives to a degree. However, social media can be a two-edged sword, amplifying both good and negative criticism. Reese describes social media as a war where she has had to defend herself against detractors while simultaneously creating a dedicated audience. Clark has used it as a platform to exhibit her accomplishments and communicate with people all around the globe.
Obviously, people don't understand, like, if they think it's personal, but when I get between the lines, if friends or anything, if my teammate right here went to play for another team.
The interaction of gender, media, and sports is complicated and influenced by a range of elements, such as societal expectations, media practices, and individual personalities. Clark and Reese's tales underscore the need for a more nuanced approach to sports criticism, one that acknowledges the specific problems that female athletes confront and attempts to encourage, rather than criticize them. As the media landscape evolves, there is a potential to create a more fair and welcoming atmosphere for all athletes, regardless of gender. This increased exposure has the potential to open up new options for female athletes, notably in terms of sponsorship and financial assistance. As more people become aware of the potential in women's sports, businesses may be more willing to invest in female athletes and provide them with the resources they need to thrive. This in turn might set off a virtuous cycle in which higher investment leads to improved performance, which attracts more fans and investment. However, some issues must be addressed. The occurrences involving Dan Patric and Angel Reese illustrate the persistent problem of gender prejudice in sports and the need for more fair and inclusive media portrayal. There is also the matter of how to maintain the momentum created by the achievements of players such as Clark and Reese. While their tales have drawn attention to women's sports, this focus must result in long-term change rather than just a fleeting fad.
Angel Reese following you around, pointing to her ring finger and taunting you?
Honestly, I have no idea. I was just trying to get to the handshake line and shake hands and, be grateful that my team was in that position.
A variety of variables, including sustained athlete advocacy, changes in media practices, and growing sponsorship and fan investment, are expected to define the future of women's sports. Women's sports are increasingly being seen as deserving of the same amount of attention and respect as men's sports, and the tales of Clark and Reese are contributing to this shift. As more people become aware of female athletes' skills and efforts, women's sports chances will expand. As we look forward, the tales of Clark and Reese remind us of the necessity of encouraging and promoting women's sports. By recognizing and honoring female athletes' accomplishments, we can contribute to a more inclusive, equal, and exciting sports environment for everyone. We can all help shape the future of sports by increasing funding, improving media coverage, or just turning up to support women's sports. And as Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have shown, the future is bright.